Ladies and gentlemen, while ideologies and parties may differ, every single candidate contesting the Lok Sabha polls has one common dream: to put their hand on the Constitution of India and take oath to bear faith and allegiance to the nation. But are there some who don't fully embrace the Constitution itself? Some who feel that our Samvidhan is an imposition? Let's tell you why today, ahead of the second phase of elections this Friday, our sacred Constitution is being dragged into a political slugfest. And that too by the brigade that actually was fighting this election to save the Constitution. Ironical? Well, yesterday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi trained his guns on the Congress manifesto for the promise to redistribute wealth, or in other words, snatch off Mangsutras to gift it away to Ghuspaitias or infiltrators. After this appeasement charge, today Prime Minister has called out Rahul Gandhi as a Shehzada who doesn't believe in the Samvidhan as well. Ironically, it's Rahul Gandhi and the opposition leaders like Akhilesh Tejaswi Yadav and Assaduddin Owaisi, who have said that if Prime Minister Modi returns for a teesri bar, he will change the Constitution. But now, the Congress's own Goa candidate is snubbing the Constitution, while the Prime Minister is going all guns blazing against Rahul Gandhi for minority appeasement and insulting the Constitution. Where is Mr. Rahul Gandhi? Only one day of campaigning left for his constituency of Wayanad, but its incumbent is nowhere to be seen since the 20th of April. While Rahul Gandhi has been missing in the political hustings, the active only on social media, Prime Minister Modi has lashed out at his wealth redistribution promise and called out the Congress for appeasement. He has also said that reading the Hanuman Chalisa in a Congress-ruled state has been reduced to a crime. Listen in to Prime Minister Modi.
और मैंने कुछ सत्य देश के सामने रखा और पूरी कांग्रेस और इंडी गठबंधन में ऐसी भगदड़ मची है, ऐसी भगदड़ मची है। मैंने सत्य रखा देश के सामने। कांग्रेस आपकी संपत्ति छीनकर उनके खास लोगों को बांटने की गहरी साजिश रचकर बैठी है। कुछ दिन पहले वहां एक छोटा दुकानदार, उसको सिर्फ इसलिए बुरी तरह से पीटा गया, लहूलुहान कर दिया गया, क्योंकि वो अपनी दुकान में बैठे बैठे हनुमान चालीसा सुन रहा था। ये कांग्रेस की कर्नाटका की सरकार का काम देखिए। आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं, कांग्रेस के राज में हनुमान चालीसा सुनना भी गुनाह हो जाता है।
Is the Prime Minister wrong in calling out Congress's appeasement ploy? Let's go back in history. In 2004, after forming government in United Andhra Pradesh, Congress party gave separate 4% quotas to 14 Muslim castes in their state. 6 years later, in 2010, the Supreme Court struck down this reservation on the basis of religion in Andhra Pradesh and said reservation should be given to these 14 Muslim castes only through the EWS, or the economically weaker section quota. During the 2009 Lok Sabha elections, Congress even promised a sub-quota for Muslims from within the 27% quota for OBCs. Then in 2011, on the basis of Ranganath Mishra Committee report, UPA government announced 8.4% minority reservation out of a 27% OBC quota reservation. In this, 6% was proposed only for the Muslim community. Later, it was brought down to 4.5%. In 2012, during the Uttar Pradesh elections, Congress announced 4% minority reservations, but back then the Election Commission took a tough stand and the Congress could not go ahead as planned in the general elections of 2014, Congress once again came back with the same promise that it would implement reservation for minorities. Today, once again, Priyanka Gandhi has reiterated that first, there will be a caste census and policies will be based on it. Listen in.
SC, ST और OBC के लिए जैसे मेरे भाई हर जगह कहते हैं, पूरी गिनती की जाएगी पूरे देश में कि कौन किस जाति की कितनी कितनी आबादी है, सिर्फ आपकी नहीं लेकिन सबकी, और कौन कितना कमा रहा है, और उसके तहत फिर नई नीतियां बनाई जाएंगी। आरक्षण की सीमा 50% से बढ़ाया जाएगा और SC, ST का सब प्लान लागू किया जाएगा। SC, ST के लिए विशेष बजट जारी किया जाएगा और काडू गोला समाज को ST का दर्जा दिया जाएगा।
While the Congress party has vowed a caste census and redistribution of wealth, BJP has asked, isn't this against our constitution itself? In fact, the Congress's own Goa candidate has called the constitution an imposition on Goa. Captain Viriato Fernandez declared that the constitution was forced on Goa in 1961 because they had no say on the constitution, which was finalized in 1950 when they were not part of India. In fact, Captain Fernandez went on to say that when he explained the rationale to Rahul Gandhi, he did say, you've got a point. Listen in for yourself.
Is it constitutional? I mean, no. No discussion. I said, sorry. I said, sir, please listen. Constitution was implemented on 26 January 1950. We were not part of India. आणि जेन्ना 1961 आम्ही लिबरेट झाले ते कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पळय तुम्ही पास केले जाका आमकां तुम्ही इन्क्लूड करूंक ना ते हाडून आमचे तकलेर मारले एंड नाव तुम्ही आमकां सांगता that it is unconstitutional. तुझ्या म्हणे ग्रँडफादर हू द फर्स्ट प्राईम मिनिस्टर आझाद मैदानार स्पीच दिल्ली that the people of Goa will decide their destiny. आमची हुई डेस्टिनी आणि कोणे डिसाइड केली म्हणे ताणे आपणाचो OSP हांगा ताका विचारले ही इज नॉट अ पॉइंट म्हणपाक लागलो when the constitution was made and implemented Goa was not part of India.
Of course, this was not something Prime Minister Modi was going to let go. In fact, he commented at a rally that Ambedkar's constitution is being insulted by the Congress. Listen in.
पहले कर्नाटका से कांग्रेस के सांसद ने कहा कि दक्षिण भारत को अलग देश घोषित कर देंगे। अब कांग्रेस के गोवा के उम्मीदवार कह रहे हैं कि गोवा पर भारत का संविधान लागू नहीं होता। वो साफ साफ कह रहे हैं कि गोवा पर देश का संविधान थोपा गया और उन्होंने ये बातें कांग्रेस के शहजादे को बताई है। ये बाबा साहब आंबेडकर का अपमान है कि नहीं है? ये बाबा साहब आंबेडकर का अपमान है कि नहीं है? ये भारत के संविधान का अपमान है कि नहीं है? ये भारत के संविधान के साथ छेड़छाड़ है कि नहीं है?
So the legitimate question we are asking on the news hour tonight, ladies and gentlemen, does the Congress want Satta but reject Samvidhan? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, GVL Narasimha Rao, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Abhijit Iyer-Mitra, Senior Fellow at the IPCS, Tushar Gupta, Political Analyst. Also joining me tonight, Vivek Silas in the studios with us, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Professor Anwar Pasha, National Spokesperson of the RJD. But my first question goes to Dr. Nikul Patel, Leader of the Congress Party. And Dr. Nikul Patel, the Prime Minister is only stating facts. After all, Rahul Gandhi did say that he will redistribute wealth. So the Prime Minister is stating facts. The Prime Minister is also stating facts when he says that the Congress has actually looked at the Constitution in a manner in which it is not allowed, which is reservations by religion. Muslim quotas have been struck down by the Supreme Court, but the Congress party has promised it time and time again from 2004 to 2014. And then, of course, you have the Goa candidate who says, this constitution, not for us. We were not party to this one. We joined India. We became liberated in 1961. So Rahul Gandhi agreed with him. Yes, you have a point. Maybe you require a new constitution. Is this the brigade that has used appeasement politics, destroyed the tenets of the constitution by bringing in Muslim reservations, by talking about redistribution of wealth with the formula that Rahul Gandhi has, and now even promising possibly, because there's been no denial to their own candidate's statement, that Rahul Gandhi is open to or looking at, probably listening to the Goa candidate and his demands for a constitution?
Firstly, I would like to answer your question regarding the redistribution. Now, when you see our manifesto, we rightly say that the population count since 2011 is pending, and we are demanding the population count, and whatever budget that has to be passed into the parliament will be redistributed according to the population of a particular community, suppose SC, ST, OBC. And if you see the Constitution of India and Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar rightly put down that if we want to have a social upliftment of the people who are not in the mainstream of the country, then definitely reservations are required. And that is why the reservation was implemented rightly in the schedule, and Schedule 5 and 6 rightly said about the reservation of SC, ST. Then it has come to reservation of OBC, where it was an economical reservation. And then definitely when required, we have planned and policy in such a way that every section of the society will get its benefit, rather than to targeting a special status to anyone. Now, first thing. Second thing, regarding the implementation of Constitution, Congress had always rightly implemented the Constitution, and when it comes to a part of Goa,
what about Muslim reservations? What about Muslim reservations that were struck down by the Supreme Court? Isn't that violative of the Constitution?
Maratha reservation is also let down by the Supreme Court.
Marathas,
so whenever,
well, you know, caste, economically weaker section and religion, are they two different things? Are you comparing Maratha reservation with Muslim reservation?
No, everywhere, whenever it goes with whenever the reservation percentage goes beyond the 50%, Supreme Court has a due right, because it's against the violation of that thing. So definitely it will play its role. Now, over here, we are considering that whenever the population count will happen, you cannot you cannot say that that budget allocation will be like this, right? Now, over here, if you see the 27% restricted to OBC quota, now if you count the population, OBC had gone beyond 50%. So that is why we are promising that whatever budget we are planning will be according to the population of the country.
Well, Nikul Patel, you've got caught in your own explanation, and GVL Narasimha Rao. They did not try to change the reservation percentages as a whole. What did they try to do? Take out from the 27% of the reservations for scheduled castes and tribes and OBCs and give it from there to the Muslims. They did not think about increasing the share itself. And GVL Narasimha Rao, is this not blatant appeasement? Number one, is this not against the Constitution as stated by the Supreme Court? And number three, on the Goa candidate. On the Goa candidate saying Rahul Gandhi believes that yes, Constitution to thopa gaya bichare Goans par.
Good evening to you, Navika ji, to all the panelists and the viewers. The party which has actually murdered Indian Constitution, the party which has suspended even fundamental rights during emergency, claims to be a savior of our Constitution, claims to be a protector of our Constitution. There can be nothing more hypocritical than this. Any number of times the Congress party, for the sake of its vote bank politics, Congress party has flouted the very basic constitutional norms. Our Constitution does not allow any kind of religion-based reservations. This is very widely known. Yet, and you could have given any section only reservation based on socio-economic backwardness. Despite knowing this, Congress party repeatedly indulged in religion reservations, using it as a bait for securing a particular vote bank. A Supreme Court has struck down religion-based reservations, and therefore, for today, the Congress party is latching on to this again, not because of any commitment, but because they are so bankrupt. They have no governance track record to talk about. They have nothing against to say about Modi ji's government, which has delivered a phenomenal performance. We have been in power for 10 years. Does Congress party have anything to criticize about us? No. They simply want to mislead people by faking some guarantees and giving some bogus guarantee cards to the people of this country. And you have Goa, a minister, a Goa candidate, claiming that the constitution has been thrust on them, and as if this constitution is a burden for the Congress party. The Congress must clarify. What do they have to say about such comments? One. Number two, is it not a fact that Manmohan Singh, as Prime Minister, had stated that the minorities have the first right on nation's resources? And is it not, does minorities not only mean Muslims for the Congress party? For their dictionary, minority means Muslims. And is it also not a fact that Rahul Gandhi had stated in an indoor meeting that we are a Muslim party? And is it not a fact that they have an alliance with a party called IUML, which is an out-and-out communal party? Is it not the fact that they had tacit and otherwise understandings with OIC being a part of UPA or an extended UPA? So the Congress party is the most communal party in this country, but they claim that they are a secular party, faking, practicing phony secularism and indulging in appeasement politics.
Well, let me get in Vivek Silas. Vivek Silas, not one word from the Andolan of Samvidhan Bachao, not one word against the Congress party's candidate and what he says about the constitution, number one. Number two, all the time the charge is that the Prime Minister is being communal. I want to ask you about the communal agenda of the opposition as well. Your party in 2012 wanted Muslim reservations. They even wanted, money to be given to minor girls from Muslim community. Why not girls only from Muslim community? Why not from the Sikh community or the Jain community? They are minorities as well. My question to you is vote bank politics the only politics that we will see in this country one way or another?
First of all, very good evening to you, Navika ji. Let me talk about Goa first. Captain Verito Fernandez, I think you should have read his tweet after that. He talked about, even in his speech, what he said. Today he said that the Prime Minister and the Bharatiya Janata Party has twisted his statement. He also talked about Goa. The unemployment ratio in Goa. He also talked about a Bharatiya Janata Party minister who is involved in gold smuggling, and the Bharatiya Janata Party is taking no note of that. We should talk about that as well. Right now, GVL Narasimha Rao was talking about guarantees. Yes, Mr. Rao, I would like to say what guarantees Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave to the country. He said by 2022, the farmers' income would be doubled. Every Indian will have a house of his own. In 2040, what not he promised about jobs, about LPG, about dollar, about smart cities, about bullet trains. What has been fulfilled? Today, unemployment and inflation is the biggest issue in India, and the country is going to vote for that. You are after the first poll of voting, Navika ji, let me tell you, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Honorable Prime Minister is in a panic mode. They know at the end of the day, they are losing the elections. They are not coming back to power in 2024. Maybe he might come to the as a leader of opposition. No problem in that. But it's game over for the Bharatiya Janata Party, what we think. Because the downtrodden, the people who have been suffering, the people who have been always, especially the farmers and the youth. We have seen a lot of paper leaks all over India, especially in Uttar Pradesh. The youth is under a lot of resentment form the Bharatiya Janata Party, the new voters, especially people of the age of 24 to 30 who are seeking for jobs, they are not going to vote for the Bharatiya Janata Party because this appeasement politics, as Prime Minister has always talked about, Shamshan Kabristan, Eid Diwali, 80-20,
और
this
आप
is not going to work.
नहीं, पर आप अगर मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन कहें, if you say 30,000 will be given to Muslim girls for education and weddings, then that is definitely not Hindu Muslim. Only what the BJP says is Hindu Muslim. Tushar Gupta, please respond.
Good evening, Navika. Good evening to all the panelists. To Mr. Silas, first of all, it's Rahul Gandhi who's missing in action from the last 2 days. It's Rahul Gandhi's constituency that votes later this week, and he's disappeared. He's not seen in the campaigning scene. The Prime Minister is campaigning across India. So let's be very clear about who's actually in panic mode and who is not. Number two, Navika, December 2006, then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh says minorities, particularly the Muslims, must have the first claim on resources. 5 years later, December 2011, the Congress, then in the center, comes up with an idea for a minority sub-quota of 4.5%. Now, why is December 2011 important? It was 3 months ahead of the state assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh in 2012. For the next 2 years, the then Congress government keeps arguing its case before the Supreme Court or keeps waiting for a hearing. They do not get that. Yet in 2014, Jan and Feb, they make a last-ditch attempt before the apex court to push for the minority sub-quota because the elections are upon them. This is not minority appeasement. Nevertheless, let's come to Rahul Gandhi's argument of wealth redistribution, because the Congress is angry as to why are we linking it with the redistribution to the minorities. आपको संपत्ति भी चाहिए लोगों का, आपको संविधान की बात भी नहीं सुननी. आप राहुल गांधी के ट्विटर टाइमलाइन पे जाइए. Since Mr. Silas said about Twitter, and this point concerns your party as well, sir. राहुल गांधी के ट्विटर पे आज एक वीडियो है कि 1 रुपया जो अडानी को जाएगा, मैं वो 1 रुपया किसान को दूंगा. तो आप एक उद्योगपति से बैंक उसको कर्जा ना दे, ऐसी पॉलिसी लाएंगे. ठीक है, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता सारे उद्योगपति अपने कारोबार बंद कर देंगे या देश से बाहर ले जाएंगे. आज अडानी है, कल कोई छोटा कारोबार होगा, कल कोई छोटा उद्योगपति होगा, शायद उत्तर प्रदेश का उद्योगपति हो. फिर आप कह रहे हैं कि हम लोगों का एक कास्ट सेंसस कराएंगे और सब कास्ट के बेसिस पर एक मैपिंग होगी, जिसके बेसिस पे एक अफर्मेटिव एक्शन होगा. ये कांग्रेस के मैनिफेस्टो के पेज नंबर 7 पर है. कांग्रेस के स्पोक्स पर्सन को मेरी दूसरी दलील, आप कह रहे हैं कि हम अपॉर्चुनिटीज की बात करें. पेज 29 कांग्रेस मैनिफेस्टो का पेज 29, इट सेज suitable policies will be devised for wealth and income. If you are worried about the opportunities, equity and opportunities, you would have spoken about income. Why are you speaking about wealth? That's my number 2 question. Navika, finally, this is something that concerns us all. This is not a state assembly election. This is not an MCD election. It's an election which concerns Mr. Stylis as much as it concerns me, as much as it concerns you. So when the PM candidate of the opposition says that हम उद्योगपतियों से पैसा लेकर किसानों को देंगे, आप कब तक देंगे? एक पॉइंट पर तो उद्योगपति देश से चले जाएंगे, फिर आप लोगों की संपत्ति के लिए आएंगे, आप उनके पैसे के लिए आएंगे, आप उनके घरों के लिए आएंगे, आप उनके स्त्रीधन के लिए आएंगे. ये क्या बना रहे हैं? भारत को आप कम्युनिस्ट नेशन बनाएंगे कि स्टेट ओनली विल गिव एंड द स्टेट विल ओनली डिसाइड हु हैज हाउ मच? राहुल गांधी वांट्स टू क्रिएट, और हिज वर्जन ऑफ इंडिया, गोइंग बाय व्हाट ही इज अटरिंग इन द कैंपेन, इज वर्स देन द इंडिया ऑफ द 1950s, 60s and 70s. It's worse than most of the communist nations that have ever survived on this planet. And yet no one in the opposition, no one in the समाजवादी. Mr. Silas, आज अगर राहुल गांधी कहते हैं कि अखिलेश जी के परिवार को भी इस रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का हिस्सा बनना होगा, आपको बनना होगा, आपको अपनी कमाई हुई संपत्ति रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट करनी होगी, क्या आप उसके हक में हैं?
रिस्पॉन्ड.
देखिए नाविका जी, मैं बता देना चाहता हूं, कांग्रेस का मैनिफेस्टो मैंने भी पढ़ा है. जिस तरह से प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बोला मंगलसूत्र ले लेंगे, घर के गहने बिकवा देंगे, तो ये काम तो प्रधानमंत्री जी पहले 2016 में कर चुके हैं. नोटबंदी में क्या हुआ था तुषार जी?
तो
जो मैं बोला नहीं था तुषार जी, प्लीज, मैं बोला नहीं था. जो महिलाओं ने नाविका जी अपने घर में पैसे बचा के रखे थे रेनी डेज के लिए, उनको भी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने काला धन कह के बाहर निकलवा लिया था और नोट बदलने में मजबूर लाइन में लोगों को खड़ा कर दिया था. और महिलाओं ने उस समय, सच्चाई है कि अपने गहने आधे रेट पे बेचे थे अपने घर चलाने के लिए. और यही काम हुआ था जब कोरोना का क्राइसिस आया था. ऑक्सीजन खरीदने के लिए मोदी जी ने महिलाओं के गहने तक बिकवा दिए थे. प्रधानमंत्री जी को इस बात के लिए देश की जनता से क्षमा मांगना चाहिए.
उसका जवाब बहनें, माताएं, देश की पब्लिक 2019 में दे चुकी है। सवाल ये है, let me get in Professor Anwar Pasha, but before I go to Professor Anwar Pasha, we also have Priyanka Gandhi Vadra responding to this particular issue. But Anwar Pasha ji, what is the respect for the constitution if the candidate from Goa actually says that Rahul Gandhi believes that yes, Goa's people haven't been really taken on board on the constitution? What is the respect for constitution when, for the sake of vote bank politics, there is appeasement of only one section of the minority? Even if you're talking about minorities, what about the other minorities? And let me ask you, when Dr. Manmohan spoke about the first right of the Muslims, minorities, but especially the Muslims on the nation's resources, is that not appeasement? Is that not going against the spirit of the constitution? But before I come to you, I'll just play out Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and her attack back on the Prime Minister. Listen in.
मंगल सूत्र का महत्व समझते तो वो ऐसी अनैतिक बातें नहीं करते।
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾಂಗಲ್ಯ ಸರದ್ದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಅಂತೂ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ।
किसान पर कर्ज चढ़ता है तो उसकी पत्नी अपने मंगलसूत्र को गिरवी रखती है।
ರೈತರು ಸಾಲ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾದಾಗ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಆ ಮಂಗಲಸೂತ್ರನ ಅಡ ಇಡ್ತಾಳೆ।
बच्चों की शादी होती है या दवाई की जरूरत होती है तो महिलाएं अपने गहने गिरवी रखती हैं।
ಯಾರಿಗಾರು ಹುಷಾರ್ ತಪ್ಪಿದಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ದುಡ್ಡಿನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಆದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇನಿದೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಡ ಇಟ್ಟು ಮನೆ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾರೆ।
ये बात ये लोग नहीं समझते और इसका प्रमाण ये है कि जब नोटबंदी हुई और महिलाओं की बचत इन्होंने ली, इन्होंने कहा कि बैंकों में पहुंचाओ, तब मोदी जी कहां थे? तब मोदी जी क्या कह रहे थे? ले रहे थे आपसे।
ಈ ಮಂಗಲಸೂತ್ರದ ಮಹತ್ವದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋ ನಾಯಕರು ನೋಟ್ ಬಂದಿ ಆದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೂಡಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಕೂಡಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ಆ ನೋಟ್ಗಳು ರದ್ದಾದಾಗ ಈ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರು? ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರು ಅವರು?
जब देश में उन्होंने कहा कि कल से लॉकडाउन हो जाएगा और सारे मजदूर पूरे देश भर से, बेंगलोर से भी, यूपी, बिहार, अलग अलग जगहों में पैदल निकले क्योंकि इन्होंने ट्रेनें बंद कर दी, बस बंद कर दी। तब जब खाना नहीं मिल रहा था शहरों में, पिछले 2 दिनों में अब ये शुरू हुआ है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी चाहती है कि आपके मंगलसूत्र और आपका सोना आपसे छीन ले। 70 सालों से ये देश स्वतंत्र है, 55 सालों के लिए कांग्रेस की सरकार रही है। किसी ने आपसे सोना छीना? आपके मंगलसूत्र छीने? इंदिरा गांधी ने अपना सोना, जब जंग हुई थी, अपना सोना देश को दिया। मेरी मां का मंगलसूत्र इस देश को कुर्बान हुआ है। कैसी कैसी बहकी बहकी बातें।
प्रोफेसर अनवर पाशा।
जी नाविका जी, thank you. As far as the constitution is concerned, I think BJP has been repeatedly telling about the change of constitution. Do you know Goa was freed in 1961? But as per BJP statement, BJP leader's statement, India was freed in 2014. Before 2014, India was not freed; it was slave. So they do not accept the constitution that was framed in 1959. 52. That was implemented in 1952. They do not accept. BJP do not accept the constitution framed by Baba Saheb Ambedkar because it gives equal right to everybody, to Dalits, to Adivasis, to minorities. Everybody gets equal rights. That is not acceptable to BJP at all. If you go by the speech of our Honorable Prime Minister, it is very shocking. It is very shocking that he is openly provoking the Hindus, the majority community, against the Muslims. He is telling that your wealth is going to be snatched from you and given to the Muslims. He is telling that the Mangsutra of the Muslim, Hindu women will be snatched and given to the Muslims. Is this the language that our Prime Minister should use? Is he the Prime Minister of only Hindus, or he is Prime Minister of Muslims and Christians and Sikh also? The way he is attacking on Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, former Prime Minister Shri Manmohan Singh ji, it shows that he has no respect for the even Sikh community. He is being targeted because he was from the minority community. And what he said, people are distorting. BJP is expert in distorting the statement of Manmohan Singh. He not said that only Muslims. He said that all the weaker sections, including the minorities, the Dalits, the Adivasis, they should get the first. They should have the first right on the all the schemes, the welfare schemes of the government. What is wrong in this statement?
Well, certainly, it was a whole paragraph, and in the paragraph, the Muslims and the first right to Muslims is in a separate sentence, not with the rest of the sentences. And Abhijit Iyer-Mitra, Priyanka Gandhi's reverse attack on the Prime Minister, the fact that the Samvidhan Bachao Andolan of the India Alliance seems to have run into rough weather, the fact that the Prime Minister is time and again exposing the entire appeasement politics so far. What does this tell you? Does this tell you that the BJP is pressing the panic button as stated by the opposition, or is it really time for exposing the agendas that are something that the opposition never agrees to?
You see, Navika, it's very clear from a simple point that Tushar made that Rahul Gandhi has been missing in action for the last 2 days and Modi has been campaigning. What have all the panels been talking about for the last 2 days? It's the Congress which is now coming up with some kind of defense or the other. They are not talking about their agenda. They're constantly defending what was said by Manmohan Singh. Why are we discussing Manmohan Singh? He was the Prime Minister so long back, but they're still defending him. So in the spirit of that, Navika, if you know, there's too much to fro going on. So I just want to ask a very direct question to our friend Dr. Nikul Patel here. Will you state, sir, on this program that Muslims do not have first right to the nation's resources attributable to the Congress?
Respond, Nikul Patel.
See, we have already said that all citizens are going to have their equal rights, and the claim and rights are two different things. I will say that again. Just be clear.
Sir, ये नहीं होता है.
See,
मैंने आपसे एक सवाल पूछा है.
See, I just claim and rights. There is a two different things.
Sir,
what do you? I would like to ask you what you mean by claim and what do you mean by rights. You just let me know first. Then I will answer your question. I would like to know what you mean by claim and what do you mean by rights.
Then I will give your answer. Whatever it is. No. Claim or right,
whatever it is. Why whatever it is? You just justify me what do you mean by claim and what do you mean by right.
कभी नहीं बोलेगा. He will never.
I'm asking you. You are asking me a question on a national television. I am asking you a question on a national television. You let me know the difference between a claim and a right. You give me the difference between a claim and a right.
If we ask you if Muslims have the first claim on the nation's resources, what will your answer be? Please tell us.
If you see the National Development Council, Manmohan Singh entire statement, it was related to the entire thing, agricultural sector, women, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes.
The sentence on Muslims was separate, sir.
This is the statement. Okay, Navika, this
is
is
not
the kind of nonsense they come up with.
Okay.
You want to misinterpret that.
Abhijit Iyer-Mitra, please counter Dr. Nikul Patel.
See, I gave him an opportunity to dispel the controversy. He can't do it because he knows he'll lose votes. Now, you just look at this, Navika. I've broken down what exactly Prime Minister Manmohan Singh said thematically. ठीक है? इसमें देखो, there is a yellow sentence in there in between which completely breaks the flow of it. What is it saying? The component plans for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes will need to be revitalized. Next sentence, we will have to devise innovative plans to ensure minorities, particularly Muslim minorities.
Precisely.
Minorities may be particularity hai Muslims ke liye. Will have to be empowered to share equitably in the fruits. Mind you, he does not say share equitably in development. He is talking about redistribution, share in the fruits. They don't have to participate, but they need to be given their share in the fruits of development. And then they must have first claim on resources. Now, if it applies to everything before this particular, before the yellow section, Navika, you tell me how does they must have first claim on resources apply to component plans? You tell me, it's logically impossible. The structure sentence. Now, they could have very easily said it's badly drafted. They're not even willing to say it's badly drafted. When I ask him, will you say it is not claim, the Muslims do not have a first claim on the nation's resources? He's not willing to say that. He'll say right claim, whatever this, that. They have a very easy way of dispelling this.
You are not able to justify claim and right. That is what you are saying.
In this case, it's
the claim. No. 1 second. Navika.
All right.
Let's talk about claims.
I can say that the social upliftment of any community is required. That the resources must be given to them. You are misleading the audience as well as the country by putting your statement. I am really sorry. You are just misleading everyone. I am not going to make sir. You are not able to answer that thing.
You are basically running around the bush.
You are misleading the people. You must lead the entire
Delhi 2014.
You are not able to answer claim
plots of
and
land
right
that the
into it.
Waqf claim
I would like to know
were
what
given to them as right.
Absolutely. And that was in the middle of elections when the model code of conduct was on. That was the time they gave Waqf properties, they gave properties to the Waqf board. They gave land to the Waqf board. But no, they are not doing any appeasement, Tushar.
चलिए राहुल गांधी जी की भाषा में अभी दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी हो जाएगा ठकाठक खकाठक ठकाठक
खटाखट खटाखट खटाखट
जैसे भी उनका चलता है। शैलेश जी, आपकी कमाई हुई संपत्ति, आपके परिवार की कमाई हुई संपत्ति, हार्ड अर्न्ड मनी आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, Rahul Gandhi says we should redistribute it. The RJD spokesperson is here, the Congress spokesperson is here, all of the Rahul Gandhi alliance. Answer in simple yes or no for the viewers of time now, for the viewers of India. Will you part with your wealth under Rahul Gandhi's redistribution program? The wealth you earned over the years, your family earned, your friends earned, your relatives earned, your constituency members earned. Yes or no? Nothing else. Yes or no?
I think Priyanka Gandhi ji
yes
made it.
Or no?
Wait, let
yes
me answer.
Yes or no?
This
yes
is not a GK question.
No, it is.
What Priyanka Gandhi, you
yes
didn't
or no?
That?
You are bluffing.
I'm not bluffing.
Yes or no? Will you
Congress
part with your wealth? Will you part with your wealth?
Been in power for the last 6 years.
Yes or no?
I mean, they were in power for 6 years.
Yes or no?
Whose wealth dictated?
Yes or no?
Whose wealth
yes
dictated?
Or no?
No one is going to part away with their wealth.
But yes
or
no one is going to part away with their
wealth.
So
then why is Rahul Gandhi saying this? No. So then why is Rahul Gandhi talking about redistribution? GVL Narasimha Rao, Samajwadi Party wealth de nahi rahi, or they are saying, look at the 55 years track record, they have not taken anybody's wealth, so rest assured. But then why is Rahul Gandhi saying this? Why?
Navika, they have looted nation's wealth. Has the Congress party not the record of running the most corrupt governments in the past? Have they not indulged in a series of scandals and scams? During emergency, have they not forced even sterilization on people? The Congress party's track record of doing things which people don't normally expect is there for everyone to see. When they mention in their manifesto, when the Congress leaders say that in their speeches, it should be taken it cannot be taken lightly. The Congress party should at least otherwise say, no, we apologize for what we have mentioned. We have a change of heart. We know what we have stated is going to lead to or ruining the lives of even common Indians. So let them come out with an errata. Let them come out with a modification.
Well,
you cannot. You see, Congress party has had this track record. When they mean redistribution, it is not distribution among the poor, because sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas, and Antyodaya, these are policies that our government has pursued. The Congress party is known to rob Hindus to pay for the minorities, because that's a vote bank that they can create. The kind of subsidies that they gave to the vote banks, the kind of favoritism that they've given, they have gone to the extent of even stating that Muslim children, Muslim boys and Muslim prisoners should be set off after a certain period if the trial doesn't happen. Under trials must be set free.
Nikul Patel, please respond. These are all specifics that are present in public domain. How do you run away from this charge?
I would like to state here that my BJP guy said that we are robbing Hindus. I am against that statement. Why? How can you say that we are robbing Hindus? We have put grant-in aid school, we have put grant-in aid hospitals, we have put government schools in the entire country in last 55 years, where all Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai all have studied. All health sectors, doctors, public sector undertakings, ISRO, Space Application Center, IIT.
So let me remind you the Tamil Nadu Act of Endowment of 1959 under Pandit Nehru. What did it say? It said very clearly that excess wealth may be taken away from Hindu temples and given to other religious institutions when they are in need. Well, what was that? Not taking away from the temples to give to other religions? Well, so isn't that taking away from the Hindus? What are you saying, Dr. Nikul Patel? It exists. It exists. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Abhijit Iyer-Mitra? Haven't they read the Tamil Nadu Act?
You leave the Tamil Nadu Act, Navika. I'm just asking Dr. Nikul Patel to condemn what Udayinidhi Stalin said. Can you do that?
Yeah, definitely it is. Even Revant Reddy on air, he said that
You say, please.
It's condemned.
After Tamil Nadu elections, they have said. After Tamil Nadu elections, they have said, not before that. Not before that. Anwar Pasha ji.
I think
Anwar Pasha ji, my question to you is, Anwar Pasha ji, my question to you is, since Rahul Gandhi wants the redistribution of wealth, great idea for poor people, do you think they should begin from giving away all the land owned by National Herald?
Is being a Muslim is a crime?
Not at all.
In your opinion, being a Muslim in this country
not
is a crime.
At all, sir. Not at all, sir. But
opinion,
neither is being a
Muslim
Hindu or a Sikh or a Jain or a Buddhist a crime in this
Muslims
country.
are intruders, as per your opinion. As per the opinion of the Prime Minister, Muslims are intruders. Muslims are not citizens of this country. They should not get any right. They should not have any democratic right in this country. This is your opinion. This is the mindset
GVL
of
Narasimha Rao, please
RSS
respond.
And your channel.
GVL Narasimha Rao, please respond.
You are abusing the Muslims.
No, you see, our government
Do you
for
know
the last 10
what
years.
is the recommendation?
No,
what is the recommendation
listen,
of
Professor.
Ranganath Commission? Do you know the recommendation of Ranganath Commission?
Yes, we do.
What does it say? What does the Ranganath Commission report says? Muslims are the worst backward community in this country. Even backward than the Dalits.
Why?
This is the
For
recommendation of
55 years, the
Ranganath
Congress
Commission.
was there. Didn't they look after them? Didn't they look after them? But GVL Narasimha responds, and then I'll come to you, Tushar.
You see,
nobody can deny that Muslims have right, Christians have a right as much as any other citizen of this country. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas is a policy that we have, that Prime Minister Modi ji followed for 10 years. Can you name one scheme in this government in the last 10 years? Can you name one instance of discrimination against any community? Minorities? Do you have the guts? I'm asking you. We have implemented dozens of programs. We have implemented several welfare programs. We have given, let's say, houses to the poor, 3 crore houses. Let me tell you, the share of Muslims in many of these schemes is more than their
GVL
share in the
Narasimha Rao,
population.
he's specifically asking you about the Prime Minister's statement.
Tell me, where have we discriminated? We have given equal rights to all citizens. We are against treating Muslims as special citizens.
And this is the language of our Prime Minister. It is shameful. It is shameful that the Prime Minister is talking this language.
Navika, we've been debating for 40 minutes. We have been debating for 40 minutes. पाशा जी हो, पटेल जी हो, साइलिस जी हो, किसी एक ने ये क्लियरली नहीं कहा है कि दे वुड बी हैप्पी टू पार्ट विद देयर वेल्थ टू स्पॉन्सर राहुल गांधीज वेल्थ रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोग्राम। तो बात साफ सी है कि या तो राहुल गांधी लोगों को गुमराह कर रहे हैं इलेक्शन से पहले, जैसे दिसंबर 2023 के इलेक्शन से पहले कह रहे थे जितनी आबादी उतना हक, और राहुल गांधी इज आउट देयर विद अ प्लान to wreck the Indian economy forever, turn India from a capitalist liberal democracy into a communist poverty-struck nation. So people in either case should be very, very worried.
Well, and I would also raise the issue of appeasement and the issue of constitution and our respect for the constitution. What is the boundary? What is the context that the Congress will set on some of these questions that have been raised? Well, people of India are asking. We do hope the Congress will clarify sooner than later. We leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.